Mr. Trock, any ideas or tips for traveling in Japan? I'm going in a few months. All right, let's talk about it. Fuck it. You bring it up. You asked me for travel tips. I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to talk about Japan though. So the Japanese yen collapse. Well, guess what? After hitting 160 yen to dollar, it had a sharp downtick back down to 153. That is because the Japanese government spent $59 billion to try and prop up the yen. However, seems pretty temporary. It may again start to slide because the core problem hasn't changed. But Japan is desperately trying to keep this from sliding. And the reason is, bro, here's examples. It says 60-year-old retired person. I would like to go to Europe if I could, but I see on the TV that even noodles and dumplings cost as much as 5,000 yen in places like Hawaii. So I don't think I can go to enjoy the trip. All the costs seem idiotic. Basically, Japanese consumers are starting to notice that anything that is not made in Japan, for anything imported, is getting prohibitively expensive because of this exchange rate. It's starting to get bad. And, you know, everyone brushing it off, especially in the Japanese government, is like, oh, we finally need a little bit of inflation. They can't imagine it getting better. People down here, like, oh, this is a great graph. Dude, I fucking love that. This is foreign visitors to Japan in blue. So this is people like you visiting Japan as tourists. Higher than it was pre-pandemic. Look at where Japanese tourists are. Half of where they were. Japanese tourists cannot travel. They can't leave Japan. They are locked into Japan. Well, everyone is flooding to Japan to take advantage of the fact that everything's cheap there. An incredible graph. I mean, this really puts it into perspective. So the recovery is just not there. And while they have a stable, cleaner society, it's not going to be ignorable, especially because wages are not keeping up. The biggest companies in Japan got a pretty decent raise recently, their unions, but like the average person in Japan is not keeping up. A lot of people are old in Japan or on pensions, which is fixed amount. If you're an old person who worked, 40 fucking years for Toyota or whatever, and you have a pension, it is a fixed amount of money each month. So if that amount is worth less, you cannot buy groceries. I mean, you can't buy the shit you need. That's where we're fucking at with Japan. Does the incoming tourism cover inflation? Tourism is great. People get annoyed with it. There's probably more people annoyed with foreign tourism than ever in Japan because there's so many of it all at once. However, tourism just brings in money. It's no country should be mad about tourism. It's like pretty much it's a money glitch, to be honest. There's negative effects, but like in terms of financials, it's good. So will anime be okay? Yeah, bro. If that is all you care about, yes, anime will be okay. They'll still make your slop. Do you think Japan will ever open up more immigration to combat falling birth rates? They need to in some way. I mean, they just have this crisis of older and older people with a weaker and weaker currency. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying this since my 2021 predictions, maybe two. Japan is a slow-moving disaster, bro. There's one parking lot where people go to take pictures of Mount Fuji with the Lawsons in the foreground. Everyone is so tired of the tourists, they put up a big tarp to block the view. Haters. I love that. There's a couple things. I mean, some tourists have been bad. The thing is, when you have such a huge influx of tourism, nobody's defending the fact that many tourists are just fucking idiots. There's like the, what is that part of Tokyo where you can like see geishas or whatever? There's like signs all over it. They're like, you can't take a photo in a certain way, and you cannot obviously touch people. Kyoto, yeah. And people are like just showing up, ignoring the signs, taking photos in the faces of these performers, and like touching them on the shoulder, touching their hair or whatever. And it's like, that's completely rude. Also treating it like, and so there's a big, there's like newspaper articles and stuff on the press where people are being like really annoyed with tourism. There's obviously problems with a huge influx of tourism like that culturally, but money-wise, it's good. They're going to make Taylor Swift do K-pop to revitalize their economy. I love your thought process. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of it. Alt-rock music. You are saying that Japan is going to make Taylor Swift, an American artist, do K-pop, a Korean music style, to revitalize their economy. How exactly does that work? I fully admit, usually I can catch up. I'm not on your level. I don't fully understand. Maybe you could explain that to me. That's layers. That's some Kendrick level layers, bro. To be fair, K-pop is fucking huge in Japan. Right. I understand that. Okay. But if, if Star Wars does well in Japan, how does that make Japan economy better? The money goes back to America. Do you understand? In this case, the money's either going to Korea or it's going to Taylor Swift. Either way, I don't understand how it's going to Japan. Oh, I see. Because it will kill the K-pop industry and then Japan will buy the peninsula. Taylor Swift doing K-pop will somehow make K-pop less popular, which will make Korea's economy, one of the most large and dynamic economies in the world, collapse and then put up their peninsula for sale. By the way, you're saying the whole peninsula, so I'm assuming that includes North Korea somehow. So North Korea and South Korea are gonna package deal, put their entire land up for sale on eBay. Japan, whose economy's in a bad spot, is gonna somehow win the bidding war and buy the peninsula. All right, no, you caught me up. No, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks, guys. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's how Korea reunifies. Just Taylor Swift doing K-pop. Bro, don't hate the player, hate the game. What does that mean in this context? Who is the player and who is the game? I hate both. And you. This is the kind of commentary you get when you take away all the Glarketer jokes. Are you under the impression that this commentary was better before? Do you think when we had Glarketer, these type of things wouldn't be said? No, it's the fucking same. It's not one iota different, bro. Can Japan's economy sustainably build giant mecha suits? I hope so. I think that's their way out of this. I think, number one, make anime real. That's a real plan. Make anime real. All of a sudden, Japan's leading. They're number one. Number two, a real life mecha suit. I do want to say, man, I've always thought this. Mecha suits are fucking dumb. Why give a robot fingers to grab a sword? Why not just make the arm a sword? Why give a robot legs that can trip when you could just make it fly? You're just a hater? I mean, I would hate to be the guy in charge of the military budget who puts billions of yen into making a mecha suit, and then the thing trips because it's got two fucking legs, and then the war is lost. Also, follow-up question, why are we choosing for all of these mech suits to get high schoolers to be the pilots? Why are we choosing romantically involved high schoolers to pilot all of our mech suits? Expendable? The thing is, that's the thing. You really don't want somebody expendable when you have such an expensive suit. The human is least of your worries. You don't want to lose the suit, so you need someone who's going to treat it seriously. Someone who's least expendable. By the way, yeah, second thing, in an economy where they have too many old people and not enough children, sending all of your children to die in mech suit wars, that's bad. That's a bad long-term strategy, bro. You should be throwing grandma in there. Train her up, she dies. Okay, at least the economy's balancing out. You don't have to pay the pension. That'd be badass, dude. That'd be fucking bad. Yeah, Age Before Beauty. If all the old people die, who will teach the young people? Are old people really doing that much teaching? You guys feel like the old of this world are, other than Marketing Monday. But if we're not joking, I don't feel like much knowledge is being passed down by the old. If anything, I feel like the old are hoovering up all of the assets and then sitting on them and then telling us to do the same thing they did. I don't get a general sense that they're building a sustainable ladder and teaching us how to climb it. We got Google now, true. What do you think I said? I'm sorry. How is that a response to what I said? Don't say true like you're agreeing with me. We're on the same page. That's a complete non sequitur to what I said, but you're like, true. Oh, true. No, I get what you're saying, Big A. Oh, we got Google now. Oh, true. I didn't say that. I didn't even imply that. Nothing what I said had anything to do with Google.